No, it can't be right. It's final. She gets everything. He left it all to me.
Dying father left $340,000 to his maid. His daughters never saw it coming. Her father was dead, and everything he owned, every dollar, every deed, every last cent had been left to the cleaning woman. What would you do if the person who raised you looked you in the eye one final time and chose a stranger over you? What if the life you expected, the inheritance, the house, the security, vanished the moment they lowered the lid? But here's what nobody in that lawyer's office could have known. What that maid had done for their father in secret for years would shatter everything two daughters thought they understood about love. By the time this story ends, you won't be angry at the father. You'll be ashamed you ever were. Stay, because the last 60 seconds will change how you see everything. The reading of the will was scheduled for a Tuesday morning at a law office on Maple Street in Columbus, Ohio. Margaret Holloway, 52, sat in the front row with her arms crossed and her jaw set like concrete. Beside her, her younger sister Diane, 46, dabbed at her eyes with a tissue she hadn't actually needed yet. She was saving it for the moment the numbers were read aloud. They had driven 4 hours for this. They had buried their father, Richard Holloway, 3 days ago. Now it was time to collect what was theirs. The lawyer, a thin man named Gerald Pruitt, cleared his throat and adjusted his glasses. Behind him, near the door, stood Rosa Medina, 58 years old, in a plain gray cardigan, holding her purse with both hands like she was afraid someone might take it. She had worked in Richard Holloway's home for 11 years. She cleaned his kitchen, washed his laundry, made sure he took his medications on time. Margaret hadn't even offered her a seat. Gerald Pruitt began to read. The first property, the house on Elmwood Drive, 4 bedrooms, fully paid, went to Rosa Medina. Margaret's head snapped up. The savings account, $340,000, went to Rosa Medina. Diane stopped pretending to cry. The investment portfolio, the car, the storage unit in Westerville, all of it, Rosa Medina. Every single line. There was one final note at the bottom of the will, written in Richard Holloway's own handwriting. Gerald Pruitt read it quietly. To my daughters, I love you. But you stopped visiting 4 years ago. Rosa never left. Margaret stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. This is a mistake, she said. He wasn't well. He wasn't thinking clearly. She manipulated him. Rosa did not speak. She stared at the carpet. Diane grabbed Margaret's arm. She was paid to be there. That's her job. Gerald Pruitt folded the document calmly. Mrs. Holloway left no ambiguity. This will was drafted 14 months ago by a separate attorney, witnessed by 2 individuals, and certified by the probate court. There is nothing to contest. The sisters left without a word to Rosa. What happened next came out slowly, the way truth always does. A neighbor named Carol Simmons, who lived 3 houses down from Richard Holloway, called Diane 2 weeks later. She told Diane that 4 years ago, Richard Holloway had a stroke. A minor one, but enough to leave him confused in the mornings, unsteady on the stairs, unable to drive. He had called Margaret first. Then Diane. Both had said they were busy. Both had said they'd come when they could. Rosa Medina had been there within the hour. For the next 4 years, Rosa had taken Richard to every doctor's appointment. She had learned to read his medication labels. She had sat with him through the long evenings when he forgot what year it was and thought his wife, dead since 2014, was still in the next room. She had learned to answer to his wife's name. I'm right here, Richard. I'm right here. She had never told anyone. Not for praise. Not for a raise. Not even for thanks. Carol told Diane one more thing. 3 months before Richard died, on a Sunday afternoon in February, Diane had called her father to say she couldn't make it for Christmas. She had said maybe next year. Richard had hung up the phone and sat at the kitchen table for a long time without speaking. Rosa had made him a cup of coffee and set it in front of him. He looked at her and said, "Rosa, do you think they know how much I love them?" She had said, "Yes, Mr. Richard. I think they do." He had said, "I want to make sure someone stays. After I'm gone. I don't want this house to be empty. I can't stand the thought of it being empty." Rosa didn't know what he meant that day. She found out the same morning as everyone else. Diane sat in her car in a grocery store parking lot in Cleveland and cried, the kind of crying she hadn't done at the actual funeral. She cried until the windows fogged over. She had asked herself 1,000 times over the past 2 weeks why her father had done it. She had been furious. She had called it manipulation, greed, something wrong. She had told herself Rosa had planted the idea that someone had taken advantage of a lonely old man. But sitting in that parking lot, she understood. He hadn't punished them. He hadn't meant to hurt them. He had simply done what he'd always done, what he'd tried to teach both of them their whole lives. In the way he tipped every server extra, in the way he always remembered their names, he had taken care of the person who took care of him. And he had trusted, maybe desperately, maybe in his last act of fatherhood, that his daughters were good enough to understand. Diane drove to Rosa's house, her father's old house, on a Wednesday morning. Rosa opened the door in the same gray cardigan. Diane didn't have a speech prepared. She stood on the porch and said, "I just want to know about him. In those last years, I want to know what he was like." Rosa looked at her for a long moment. Then she opened the door wider and said, "Come in, I'll make coffee." They sat at the same kitchen table where Richard Holloway had asked if his daughters knew he loved them. Rosa talked for 2 hours. She told Diane about the jokes he still made, even when he was confused, about how he'd saved every birthday card his daughters had ever sent him, even the ones from when they were children, in a shoebox in the closet, about how he talked about them every single day, not with bitterness, with pride, with the helpless, bottomless love of a father who had no idea what he'd done to deserve the distance, but chose to love them anyway. Diane left that house a different person than she had arrived. There is a kind of loyalty that asks for nothing in return. It does not announce itself. It does not wait for gratitude. It just shows up, in the cold, in the dark, in the confused early mornings, and stays. Richard Holloway recognized it, and in the only way he had left, he honored it. Perhaps the real inheritance his daughters received wasn't money. It was a mirror. Friends, this was our video for today. Please let us know in the comments which country you watched this video from. And if you want to hear more emotional stories like this, then please give this video a like right now and subscribe to the Islamic Tales YouTube channel.